G'day, a little video here looking at some entry procedures into class. Too often we are walking around school and we see students entering classes with no real order, no real direction. Often teachers are rushed getting to class. We open the door, we just want to get them inside so we can get our lesson started. But it's just not that effective in terms of getting the kids settled nice and quickly. I ran a PD about a year ago with about 30 odd staff, and lots of those teachers were very experienced teachers, more experienced than me. And I asked them with a pen and paper to write down what their plan was for entering students in the class, what their routine is that they build into that class to get them to enter, so we can get settled and get working straight away. And a few of them said I've never actually taken the time to actively sit down and plan what I want my entry into class to look like. So that was a bit of an eye-opener for me. I spoke with them about not having that routine and sometimes how do the students enter the class and how long does it take for them to settle. Of course the answer was it can take some time to get them settled, and it could be 10-15 minutes before they're all really settled and back on task. So what I did then is I got them to take the next 10 or 15 minutes to actively plan about what they want it to look like, things they're going to say, what strategies they're going to use to get the kids settled outside, because often we're coming back from a 50-60 minute lunch break, and kids are a bit wide, a bit excited. So got them to take the time to think about how they're going to settle those students before they come into class. So what I've developed over time is it's a pretty basic checklist, but it's one that I aim to achieve each time I enter a class, whether it be junior secondary or senior secondary. This can be used for primary school as well. It's just that the language used within some of these strategies might be a bit different. Okay, so things I try to do is always try and greet the students. Okay, so I'll greet an individual, a small group, and have a chat about the footy game on the weekend or an art project that I know they've been working on. Just something to have a chat with them outside of the curriculum that we're about to spend 60 or 70 minutes with them. And then also greet the whole class as well. This individual and small group chats here goes a long way in developing relationships. It just shows the students that, Sir actually knows that I play footy on the weekend. He's interested to see how we went. Or Sir knows about my art project and he really wants to, to know how I'm going with that. So it goes a long way in developing relationships. Very simple. Next one is having the expectations visible to students. So at your school, in classrooms, no doubt you've got a list. Hopefully you've got a list of expectations that you want the students to follow. Here at our school, we've got a college-wide set, which every class will use. And I'll also make sure I have that on the window just outside, pointing out where the kids are expected to line up. That brings to the next one here about referring to the rules proactively. We don't need to always wait for rules to be broken before we refer to the rules. Okay, proactively referring to the rules is so powerful. It just reminds the students of what the expectations are and what we should be doing. So often these two proactive rule referrals will relate to possibly something that they should be working on from last lesson. Okay, it might be the use of their phones, it might be following instructions or being courteous and respectful. So I'll make sure that I'm proactive around a couple of things at least before I even enter them into the classroom. Next thing after that is giving a couple of instances of positive feedback. Okay, so if there are students doing the right thing, often those students always doing the right thing go unrewarded in terms of positive feedback from us teachers. So if there is something being done that is spot on, that follows that routine that you're trying to develop outside your classroom, then let those students know. Okay, often that will then alert the other students who are probably not doing what you want them to do exactly to get in line and get their gear out and get ready for class. Second last one is one verbal and non-verbal directional action or phrase. Okay, so that would be something like stop, look, listen, eyes on me. It might be a clap, it might be a whistle sequence if we're out on the oval teaching PE, and they will vary greatly from primary up to senior secondary. Okay, what we don't want to get ourselves into the habit of is giving 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Okay, we're asking for students' attention and asking for them to listen. Reason for that is we don't want to come across as though that we're almost begging. Okay, we're almost begging the students to give us their attention. Okay, so once that's given, if there is anything that needs doing after that, I'll go and refer to the top 5. Okay, and that'll be on one of the slides at the end of this video. You can have a look at what they are. But the top 5 are the 5 strategies that are they're my go-to strategies. Okay, they are the ones that are most conducive to that really positive, supportive learning environment, and they are the best bang for buck strategies out there. So I'll make sure I try and refer to those only. All right. Sometimes I will go to my other strategies as well, but the top five are the ones that I really try and focus on there. So all of these here, they all centre around, come from the essential skills for classroom management. Again, there'll be another little slide which you can have a look at the end of the video about what these are. But out of the 10, if I hit all these ones at my entry into class procedures, I think I've hit 6 of those ESCMs out of 10 already. So take the time, grab a pen and paper. You feel free to use this one and give it a go and see how it works. It might not work in the first lesson. It might take a couple of lessons to get the students to start responding to this type of entry procedure, especially if you haven't really had any set routine that you want your students to follow. So, but by all means, leave some comments below if there is a different entry procedure that you guys use that you want to share with people. Yep, go for it. Okay, more than happy to have a look and you know, possibly implement some things, some good ideas that you guys come up with as well. But that's basically my entry into class procedure. What's yours?